Good morning. It is hot in Florida today. Hot. We've got about 1.5 miles left to go. And I wanted to talk about two things today that happened this week that I thought would be value add. One, I put in an LOI, letter of intent offer, to buy a shopping center about 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we kept getting delay responses. Like the first week they said, and we gave them the full price that they asked for. So we found out this is what they wanted. The LOI was for the price they wanted. So the first week it was my partner's on vacation. The second week it was my other partner's on vacation. And the third week it was that the lawyers wanted to add language. So I have a broker representing me, and I reached out to him and I said, look, there's something else. Came up with some ideas of what it could be, but none of them really did we think was probably what was really going on. So I said, let's get one of the principals on the phone, because maybe they don't want to sell. And if they don't want to sell, as in the good book of Never Split the Difference with Chris Voss, and if you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. It's time to say, look, no problem. You don't want to sell. Let's just drop it. So that was what we did. We got a call with one of the principals, and I'm very happy to say that on the call, he said, you're going to get the LOI tomorrow. We really do want to sell. And do you hear that? I wonder if I'll make it home before that thunder brings down pouring rain. So anyway, we did get the LOI, yay, and the deal is proceeding. Keep your fingers crossed that I will be buying another shopping center. But the important thing is, when deals start getting delays or pauses, and the responses you're getting don't seem to be true, it's time to maybe do the takeaway, which is what Chris Voss says, and shit or get off the pot. So I'm happy that we're moving on, but I was also prepared if they said, yeah, we've just decided we don't want to sell. Okay, no problem, because the energy that we put out in following up with whether it's a lease, a prospect, an LOI, new business, it's a lot of energy that can distract you from things that are really happening, that you should really put your attention towards. So don't be afraid to stop and say, hey, do we have a deal or not? Are you interested in moving forward or not? So that's number one. And I'm going to apologize because we are walking by someone that is cutting their grass, and it's going to be very noisy. But I think I can talk loud and you can hear me. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to talk about today was follow-ups. So someone called me. I spoke to someone yesterday who said, what do you do when it's very noisy? Thunder, airplanes, landscaping. What do you do when you send a flyer out to someone? In this instance, it was a tenant rep broker, and she sent an email to the tenant saying, do you have someone helping you find locations in X city? And the tenant, which by the way, my advice is never ask a question that you can find the answer to yourself. So she probably could have found the answer out without asking the retailer, whatever. So she called the retailer, she emailed the retailer, do you have someone helping you find locations in X city? The retailer responded and said, yes, Beth Azor reps me. Not me, she named the person. This broker reps me. If you have any sites, send them to this broker. So the person was asking me, I want to send an email back saying, oh, she's good, Beth Azor's good, you've got a good broker, but if you ever change your mind, I would like to rep you. What do you think? And I said, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't add any value. Instead, what I would do to set yourself apart from the rest, basically you're just saying, hey, I hope you change your mind and hire me. So she was already going to write, oh, she's a good broker. So you're not adding anything of value. You're just asking the person to change their mind. And that's what I find with a lot of my students when they send follow-up emails. They're not adding anything of value. They're just hoping the person has changed their mind on a no, or I just went through a cobweb. Ugh. Or that they have made a decision that maybe they haven't been responding. And my same advice to you guys that have sent, let's say, a proposal out, if the person hasn't responded in 3 weeks and you keep sending the email saying, did you make a decision? You didn't give them enough information or value for them to make the decision. 100%. So what I said, what I would do in that situation is, okay, great, Beth Azor is a great broker. By the way, here are 3 or 4 sites that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if you are, hopefully Beth is, that might help you in your expansion in so-and-so city. So I know many of you are going to say, why would I give that free information? For me, I believe that the more value you can add and the more that you can show that you are an expert, more sites are going to come available. I know it's a tight market right now, but you're trying to prove your worth and your value for the next 5 or 10 years, not the next 2 weeks or the next 2 months. And you want that retailer, even if they're happy with Beth Azor, to say to their friend, so let's say their retail friend says, hey, Joe, I'm looking for a retail tenant rep broker in Orlando, Florida. I can't use your broker, Beth Azor, because I'm a coffee guy and she reps Starbucks. Who would you recommend? If you do the work or you do something crazy like sending that first retailer sites that they and Beth Azor should check out, that guy is going to remember you and he's going to recommend you to his retail friend. So that's the kind of stuff that I am a huge proponent of, that a lot of people tell me that I'm crazy. And that's okay. I don't mind being called crazy. But that's always my question when you guys call me and say, I haven't heard from so-and-so. It's been 4 weeks. What should I do? I keep emailing them. Stop emailing them and add something of value. What can you add of value that's interesting to them? For those of you, which are many of you, are involved in the car wash industry right now. Many tenant rep brokers are involved in the car wash industry right now. I must get a call a week about someone in a new car wash. So for those hot off the presses, today, Wall Street Journal, huge article about car washes and private equity. So if you are trying to pitch a car wash tenant rep, or even if you're working with a car wash as a tenant rep, you should send that article to your client. Even like I sent it to someone today, assuming that they saw it, because I know this person reads the Wall Street Journal every day. And guess what? At 8:15 this morning, they hadn't read it. And they were, thank you for calling it to my attention. Awesome. So that's also some other things you can do when you're following up or keeping in touch, is sending articles that they would find some interest in. So, in summary, when the deals get stale or pause, and for me personally, what the heck is going on with my LOI? I'm going to pull it, but get someone on the phone that I can talk to, because if the guy doesn't want to sell, he doesn't want to sell. Let's move on. It's distracting me, right? Every day I'm waiting. They're going to call in the broker. Are they going to send the LOI? What's going on with the So move on or move out. And then 2, you have to have something of value every time you follow up. If all you're doing is saying, did you make a decision yet? Have you changed your mind yet? That's not valuable. That's being a pain in the ass. So those are my 2 ideas today when I'm walking with Miss Mowgli. There you are. And we're completing our 4 miles. The last thing, I was thinking about this earlier. All you guys that don't like to prospect, I love to prospect. I hate working out. I didn't want to walk 4 miles, but you got to do what you got to do. So do something you don't want to do today. Go out and do it. And then the rest of your day you've got free. You all can prospect on IG and Facebook before you go out into the streets today. Just do 10 Instagram DMs and you'll feel good. Great. Have a great day.